Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. Today is Jan 10th, and I'm recording this from Chancery Pavilion Hotel in Bangalore. We are here for CommsNets 2026 since the last 4 days. Yesterday, we, as part of Seeds, had organized an Entrepreneur Ignite Summit. Today, we have a DecarbX workshop focused on decarbonization, energy transition, and sustainability. So, exciting few days meeting a lot of academicians, entrepreneurs, as well as investors and other like minded people, including people from the regulatory framework. So, everything that Seeds and my own practice about the RASHMI.ai represents, it's all coming together. So, I did not record the dose of Rashmi yesterday. However, as it so happened, yesterday I was delivering the opening address at Entrepreneur Ignite Summit, which was focused on one of my favorite topics, from product thinking to wisdom thinking. That is how we framed the entire day around guiding entrepreneurs and everybody in the room. And while I had not exactly planned it, it so happened that during the Q&A for that session, what I had thought of covering for the dose of Rashmi happened to come out as the answer for a specific question. The entire session has been recorded. It is on YouTube. It was live streamed. It's a long session. Now, if you go to about 25-minute mark in the first recording for the morning session, you will hear the dose of Rashmi and the answer in response to a question that was posed by the audience member. So yesterday's dose of Rashmi was: unconscious intelligence is an instrument of your mind and takes over your whole being. Wisdom, on the other hand, is unlocking the miracle of mind, where you lead the mind to do what you care from an aligned state. And I ended up using that because somebody asked me a question about, in the age of AI, many times AI hallucinates or AI goes down a path that we don't necessarily uh, think is what we had requested for. How, at that point, are we able to really differentiate between what our objective is at the end versus get caught up with what where AI has produced a deliverable and going down that path? And I use this dose to answer that question, and I'll share a little more later as I cover today's dose. So today's dose of Rashmi, Jan 10th, is: unconscious intelligence makes you believe that you need something external to be happy and joyful. Wisdom, on the other hand, is the realization that joy is your innate nature. So, as I was reflecting on today's dose of Rashmi, and as I arrived at it, I've talked about my friend Saj Shah very regularly in this series. He goes by the title Joyfluencer, and he's an amazing human being who's built this app called Glide, which is a way to use technology to help us humans get in touch with the joy that is inherent and pay attention to something where we are completely aligned, and joy naturally emerges. So, me and him really share a lot in terms of our exchange of ideas and the philosophy, as well as life experiences that we have had. So, besides Saja's work, which I highly recommend, and you will realize that joy is your innate nature based on things that he shares on LinkedIn and other social platforms. Besides that, in terms of real wisdom, artificial intelligence, and putting this and yesterday's dose together, I had this experience yesterday as I was preparing for the Entrepreneur Ignite Summit and today's workshop. I was using my AI Copilot to help me with some deliverables for the conference. I wanted it to generate some images which could be used as the backdrop for some panel discussions and fireside chats that we had. And the first image it created brilliantly. It had the two speakers' images exactly, the panelist and the moderator, with a nice backdrop. I was impressed that, okay, in just one prompt, it got that right. For the second session, that as I was going about doing this, it would keep messing up on the name of the moderator, as well as now it had multiple images in its database, not just two. So it would be putting images and speakers or all kinds of rough orders. Then I was of course, getting a little frustrated by that. Gave it a few prompts, and then it gave me a very detailed explanation that there are limitations in the image generator. It is not the LLM copilot which is goofing up. It is the image generator which is goofing up. However, given the image generator has all these limitations, it gave me detailed instruction that I could take all of this, go to Canva and ask my design team to create these. It was very well thought out and great overall. However, that's where I paused because the natural reaction would be it had given me this package. I had other people helping me out, including some volunteers here. I could have shipped it off to them and put them to work, go do all of this, and that would have created a very pressing deadline for a few people who would have been hustling at the last minute under tremendous pressure to get this done in time for the start of the conference. However, that's where I decided to take a pause. That what is the objective of what I was trying to do here? The objective was very simple, that while we are having a fireside chat, the audience knows who are the two people on the stage and gets some kind of a main imagery at the backdrop, which conveys seeds and where they are at. The two images of the speakers being there, while a nice design touch, the two people were going to be there on the stage anyway. So the image was not the most important thing. And that's where, when I paused, I just told it, forget about the images, just give me a simple text-based backdrop that I can be projected, and we'll proceed with the fireside chat. And that part it was able to do perfectly fine. No frustration, no misery created for in me as well as anybody else. I went back to the joyful state, being happy that yes, we got the deliverable done in time, and went on to enjoy a cup of coffee, a light breakfast before starting the session. However, if I'd chosen the other route of actually taking the instructions from the AI, where I would have been led by AI and its instructions, I would have been miserable for the next 30, 45 minutes. Besides me, there would have been three or four other people who would have been rushing up and down, trying to figure out all these things with Canva, multiple rounds of reviews, back and forth in those 30, 45 minutes to make sure everything comes out the way I wanted it to come out. And a lot of stress that would have destroyed the joy for several human beings. So that is the example of how the two doses in a way come together, can lead your mind versus be a follower to the mind. You can effectively lead AI and use it to do exactly what you would like to do. And in the process, end up creating, not creating, end up being in touch with the joy, which is your inherent state. Thank you.